Well, hello everybody. This is T3 here for Future Nature and T3 Photography. I am just getting ready to get started here. I'm trying this new system, which is not working very well at the moment. So I'm going to turn the slideshow off. Boop. All right. How are y'all doing tonight? T3 here, as I said before, from Future Nature and T3 Photography. I am broadcasting from a new location in the middle of downtown Portland. I just got a report from one of my helpers that the audio may be a bit muffled, and that's probably due to my new earbuds. So I apologize for that. I didn't have time to experiment with this microphone my friend gave me. So as long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. Actually, turn this down a little bit. All right. So, how are you all doing on this Earth Day? You know, Earth Day is a holiday. And I'm going to bring up my father in this one. Something he mentions at the standard class, if you've ever taken one, is that the first Earth Day celebration in 1970, whatever, New York City, Central Park. Yeah, let's save the Earth, save the planet. And they left behind something like, you know, ridiculous tons of trash behind. This supposed day of celebration of the Earth. And uh, it continues to this day. I'm sitting here in wide angle vision, looking at the camera and looking out in the street as well. And I'm just I just watched a guy, was drinking a drink and just tossed it on the street. And while part of me wants to go out there with my booth blacksmithing favorite tool of the century, that's not going to do any good. You know, if we are going to truly affect change in this world, we need to lead by example. I love, when it comes to trash, especially, I love when somebody throws something on the ground and then they watch me physically go pick it up and put it in a trash can, and they get this look on their face that's, uh, you know, I don't even know how to describe it. A few years ago when I lived down in Florida with my former partner Lisa, I was going to go kayak fishing at this local bridge, and as I'm rigging up my rods and getting my kayak ready to go, these people pull up in a truck, and the husband gets out, grabs his rods and bait bucket, walks up to the bridge, and the woman then proceeds to open all four doors of her pickup truck and just starts going through and let's see if we can let me start a replay buffer here, make it a little bit better. This is funny. I'm broadcasting with the best internet I've ever done a live show from, and it's acting up. So let's see. And the recording will always be high quality. All right. So this woman, takes all the trash out of the truck, and leaves it on the ground. And part of me just felt this, bubble of rage building in my solar plexus. And then I said, it's not going to do any good if I scream at this woman. That's not going to really cause any change. And so what I did instead is I walked around and I picked up every single piece of trash she threw on the ground. As I was walking towards the trash can, I said, "Have a nice day, ma'am." And put it in the trash can, got in my kayak, and paddled on. So sometimes the most powerful lessons we can give and we can also receive don't involve words. You know, this year being a caretaker is a cornerstone of everything that both and myself and my father teach. And as someone who lives near national forest land, people just go out there for the weekend camping and burn their whole campsite, leave all their trash. We had to deal with it in the pine, and they're still dealing with it in the Pine Barrens. And I just don't understand how people can go out into nature. And I know why. It's because that void inside them is drawing them to these places, but they just don't know how to act, or they're, sucked in by the crowd. Somebody throws something on the fire, a beer bottle, beer can, I got to do it too to be cool. So yeah, I can never have enough fun studying the human animal. That's why, both myself, that's why I say, and, Pops as well, that uh, tracking and awareness are the two most important skills in life. And one of the reasons why is we can track anywhere. We can work on heightening our awareness anywhere we are. I don't need 3 sticks to carve together a certain way and make a bow drill kit. And the more you study humans and watch them and how they act and interact with their environments and with each other, you start to realize that if they just did things, slightly differently, if we just altered things ever so slightly, it could have a profound effect on, on our species and the rest of the species that we share this planet with. I said it before and I'll say it again. Just because we've got opposable thumbs and cool shit does not mean that we sit upon the ivory throne atop the approximately 9 million species of beings out there. My life is no more or less important than the life of the maple tree that I can see outside the window, or the berry thrush that's in it. We think because we can talk and write words and do all this stuff that our individual life force is more important than that of any other being. And I can see how it's easy to think that, because we have obviously we have big brains. We've created all of this stuff. The problem is, in order to create the stuff, you have to get the resources from somewhere. And it's the same as in a wilderness living or a survival situation or in a hunter-gatherer living situation. In order to live, in order to make tools, we need resources. And if we would just work on healing the things within ourselves that are holding us back from reaching our highest heights, and then heal the rift between you and other people, or other peoples, for as long as Homo sapiens have been around, you'd think that we'd be done with things like racism, and hatred, and my God is better than your God. When the rubber hits the road, we are all one. Once again, I apologize for sounding like Dr. Bronner's bottle, but no matter the color of your skin, no matter where your ancestors hail from, no matter who you choose to love, none of that matters because we're all one. We're all one human animal, and we're all facing the same fate. That's why I laugh. Earth Day, save the Earth. Let me tell you something, people. The Earth is going to be just fine. If all humans were to evaporate like that, yeah, there'd be some disasters. Although I have read recently that a lot of the nuclear, I don't know, however you say the word, but nuclear plants, have essentially a dead man switch where they will go into a shutdown phase if a certain amount of the things don't happen. But nature would reclaim all of the stuff that we've built in such a short period of time in nature time, not human lifespan time, which is infinitesimal when compared to nature time. But it wouldn't be long. Do some research on Chernobyl and what that's like these days. Are there areas there that are highly irradiated? Absolutely. Are there, uh, but nature has reclaimed it. There's wolves out there. There's, the animal life is, the biodiversity is incredible. So, one day, if we don't get our shit together soon here, one day Mama Earth is going to be like, I've had enough of you. Think. And then maybe it's time for the bird people. I vote for the crab people. I think they should be the next in line. Crustaceans never don't get much love. But yeah, so when people talk about saving the earth, they're not talking about saving the earth. They're talking about saving their own ass, you know. And granted, it's a great philosophy to have, but we need to take it a step further. You know, I know, through my 20 years of teaching and my 44 years of being around this movement, I know that there is this secret army of warriors of the light out there that are true caretakers, that pick up trash, that help heal people, help heal nature, you know, and it's a lot of people, you know, and but we need more. And the problem is these days people are so wrapped up in, my side is right and your side is completely wrong, and I am not going to, how dare you try and change my mind with the facts, you know, and then most of the time people don't realize they're arguing with what is most likely a, artificial intelligence robot somewhere in Eastern Europe. Uh, we're being played, people. God, my show's starting to sound like a mix of Alex Jones and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, we are being manipulated by entities that profit from the division of our species. As I wrote, those of you who received my latest blog post, one of my favorite quotes of all time is by Victor Hugo. No army can withstand an idea whose time has come. So it's time that we heal ourselves, we heal each other. We come together as one species and we say, stop. Let's put these tools and all these things that we've made to better uses. Because, I'm forever the optimist. I wouldn't do, the job I do if I thought it was hopeless. I put every moment of every day into this, into trying to change people's minds, into trying to get them to notice something, that they've walked by 100 times that is, so incredibly beautiful. To teaching them how to be truly free. We're not free. We're shackled to the gas station and the power company and the grocery store. True freedom is remembering the skills that our ancestors used to live close to the earth, and through that knowledge, be able to provide yourself with food, clothing, and shelter. In a community, setting. And this live show is a bit mistitled. Instead of the way of the caretaker, I'm thinking, speaking a little bit more about the importance and need of community and coming together. And I, as someone who's been, around this, skills and schools, my whole life, I go places and, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it was always, oh, well, the guy I learned from is so much better than the guy you learned this from. And I'm not just talking about, survival skills or ancestral living skills. Could be anything. Instead of bickering about who's better than who, why don't we all come together and work on it together? So that's why, for me, this year is a huge year of collaboration. I want to, I get out there, get on the road, and start working with people who have established organizations, and in order to facilitate that community building. Think of me as a mentally deranged Pied Piper of dirt-loving, tree-hugging people. So I'm going to go around and teach classes and things like that. A couple days ago, I went over to Washougal, Washington, about an hour from where I live, and I met with Michelle from Tree Song Nature Awareness School. And I had seen one of their webinars on birding at the start of the pandemic, and I had never heard of them before. And then, long story short, a friend of mine ended up, getting a job running some programs or trying to get some more adult programs going. And I'm going to go, help my friend, but I'm also going to be doing online programming, hopefully, with them or through them. Because, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner in this world, especially in such a niche industry, and it disgusts me that the whole idea of communing with nature has become an industry. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So, by going and meeting Michelle, this amazing woman that, just like radiates light, and you can see her glow when she talks about the property. And, those are the type of people I want to be around. The people that give me energy, that uplift me. I've spent far too much of my life around people that just slowly drain you, take advantage of your kindness, all that stuff. I'm just over it. I only want to be around people that have that glow, that have that sparkle in their eyes. And I want to go with those people and make other people sparkly eyed. Um, and, once again, making more caretakers. And I always use capital C caretaker because as there is a small t tracker who is somebody who likes the art and science of learning about animal tracks and following them. And then you have the capital T tracker who think of as Sherlock Holmes, you know, always, wherever they go, they are, sacred questioning everything they see, watching, listening, you know. So same with caretaking. A small C caretaker is somebody who goes and, picks up trash when they see it, and it's just generally, a good, decent person. A capital C caretaker is somebody that leaves a wake of, unicorns and rainbows behind them. Okay, maybe that was not the right metaphor, but you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, that basically a capital C caretaker is someone who, when they enter a place or a space, they've worked on heightening their awareness to a point to where they know what needs to be done so that when they leave that place, that space, or that person, that they are better than when you originally got there. And we do that by like going and meeting Michelle, and now collaborating with her, which is going to be a lot of fun because she's awesome, and it's going to help my business grow. Because I'm about not far from living in a van down by the river, as they say. And I've over this last year and a half, I've connected with a lot of old friends and people that have amazing organizations. Another one I'll talk about for a minute is my buddy Adam LaRue from the Sharpening Stone property is called the Sharpening Stone, and he runs an ancestral skills gathering called the Sharpening Stone, which I think it's pretty much sold out at this point for the spring. And then in the fall, they do something called Feast on the Fire. So I put their link to their website in the show notes. So Adam is a fellow filmmaker and caretaker, and I remember meeting him when he came for his standard class. He'd just recovered from surgery after he got hit by somebody on his motorcycle. And he didn't know much about nature, but he knew he wanted to learn. And because this person hit him, he got some money. So he chose to take that money and buy this property in Southern Oregon that is off-grid and is just flourishing and so much more biodiverse than the parcels of land around it. The intimate knowledge he has of his land is staggering. So, we are running all sorts of classes together. We were supposed to have a 2-day mushrooms basics class, I think next weekend, but there's still a lot of snow. As you guys know, I do, drone photography as well as regular, and, I contracted a a drone job to go find these remote parcels of land and photograph them, but I can't get to them because they're in that same area where Adam is, but they're essentially under feet of snow. So while as fun as snowshoeing through soggy, wet spring Oregon snow sounds, I think I'll wait on that one. Another collaboration I want to talk about is so Rick Barry and 4 as I call them, for Earth Education. Rick is perhaps the finest child nature educator I know. Um, he's just got the gift. Um, Meanwhile, there's a reason why I teach adults, because yeah, people who teach kids 5 days a week, whether you're a public school teacher, you should be given way more money than you're paid, and I can't. Yeah, I would rather do anything else, but it's needed, you know, because those kids are going to be the ones making decisions 30 years from now that are what are really going to have an effect on how this planet ends up and how we end up. So, um, yeah, we were going to do a class, so we decided to postpone it to the fall. And instead of it making an adults only class, we are going to make it a family program. So it's going to be about, the class is actually called The Way of the Caretaker, and it's about using, how to get your kids to, to learn how to be caretakers. Because the younger you start, the better off we are and the easier we are. Last thing I want to mention, as I'm a photographer as well, and I've been taking photos for a woman who is a local artisan. I'll put her website in the show notes. But yeah, as somebody who's used to doing nature photography, doing light box photography, trying to broaden my skill set, has been really amazing. And Lena has been a huge help, as a both as a client and as a friend. And a few other people I want to give thanks to that work for free behind the scenes. My buddy Pak Chu from New York City. Pak, you have literally, helped me a lot. Jim Genoso, hero, Antarctica traveler, um, and just, my buddy Jesse, so many other people who have the skill sets that I don't in the business world that are keeping me going. And, each one teach one, as they say. Well, I am going to end it there. Anything I didn't, anything I mentioned will be in the show notes, so you can just click on them and check out the organizations, because, I will not work with an organization whose vision doesn't align with mine, I'm not going to go work for Monsanto, and any organization I recommend, I can guarantee you'll get a good education at. The same as my father does, you know, I have to know you before I put you up on my website as a trusted organization. But as always, one love, stay happy, stay healthy, hug someone if you can, hug a tree, and most important of all, get your ass outside because that's where we're meant to be. Until next time. Oh, one last thing. So, as you all, most of you know, at home I have zero internet. So I've had to postpone some webinars and some meetings with people. Hopefully, it will get resolved this week. But just if you email me and I don't get back to you right away, it's due to the fact that I live on top of a mountain at the end of the Oregon Trail, and I didn't die of dysentery. So, one love. I love you all. Without you all, I wouldn't have anybody to rant endlessly to. So, and I also got a really cool skills video that I'm going to be releasing as soon as I can finish editing it. Until then,